Okay,
Right
there
here.
you go.
Do you recommend getting a swine flu shot?
That's a great question. So, since, want to go ahead, Lou? Or I'll go?
Yeah, if you were born
Which you all are.
after 1957, none of you have immunity to the H1N1 virus, unless, like Andrew, you got it a few months ago from his roommates who came back from Cancun with the following symptoms: a very high fever, maybe 104 or 5, severe muscle aches, like you got run over by a bus, and you cannot stop coughing. It's a respiratory virus. You just cannot stop coughing. So high fever, severe aches, terrible cough. Almost everybody would get better within a week. Some people, unfortunately, would have with pneumonia. It's currently felt to be fatality, chance of dying less than 1%. But if you read the papers, you'll see that the people who are dying are elementary school kids, high school kids, and some college kids. Say, how come old people don't get it? They're already immune. This virus was here in the early 50s in this country. So those of us who are alive were exposed to it. We have immunity, and you don't usually get the same thing twice, like chickenpox, measles, or mumps. So currently it's recommended for children to get this vaccine.
17 to 24.
Pregnant women, healthcare workers, people with chronic conditions, diabetes, asthma. Older people, it's probably not as big an issue because if you're already immune, you won't get it again. They're starting to ship. The CDC ordered 200 million doses. The federal government paid for it, so the actual vaccine is going to be free. They're starting to ship it soon. It was produced in a new way. It was tested, found to be immunogenic in people. They're going to have a live nose spray, which is a weak attenuated virus. I personally don't like that because that could make you sick. The shot is a dead vaccine. Could not give you the disease. It could have a sore arm for the day or a low-grade fever or chill. So if they offer it, you should get it. If you remember last spring, when your roommates came back from Cancun in March or something, and some of them had these symptoms. That's when it started. Remember Mexico, and then it kind of spread worldwide. So if you already had it, you're probably not going to get it again. But you guys, they've already had major outbreaks in a lot of universities, and they've had it shut down. And if you're sick, their best advice is just stay home until you're feeling better, which could be a week. Universities are supposed to be accepting of the fact that there'll be a lot of sick people this year, and they shouldn't penalize you for it. To try to prevent it, avoid sick people, wash your hands a lot, cough in your arm.
Tell them about Tamiflu.
Tamiflu, yeah. There is an antiviral drug called Tamiflu, 75 milligrams twice a day. If you have this disease and you take this drug, you'll get better quicker. They're kind of saying you should give it to the more severe people first, but I think if I had these symptoms, I would take the drug. It won't hurt you, and you might get better a little quicker. So what the fear is this thing is, influenza usually shows up in the winter. This has shown up in the spring and summer. It's worldwide. So it's very, what's the word would be? It's very contagious, but not very lethal. Okay, now the fear is, and normal influenza kills about 30 to 40,000 Americans a year. That's the seasonal flu, mostly older, frail people. So the fear is that H5N1, which is a true bird flu in Asia, people have gotten that from diseased birds, but it hasn't gone from person to person. That's very lethal. Over 50% of the people who got it, a couple hundred of them, died. So the fear is if these two strains kind of intermingle, which these viruses can kind of mix and match pretty easily, and they hook up, then you'd have something that's really contagious and very lethal. That would cripple the world economy, the healthcare system. They would estimate, this is the fear. They would estimate it would kill over 3 million Americans.
Doom and gloom.
We don't even have 3 million hospital beds in this country. So it's a very prudent idea for all of us to get immunized. That way, if the strain gets worse, you already have some immunity to it, and you'd be less likely to be killed. So it would be a good idea.
So I'm going to do just the other side of that. And it's not like you shouldn't get immunized. However, the CDC, they have what's called a control center. And there's a control center with regards to this vaccine because it is a new vaccine. And with new vaccines comes unknown because there are really no longitudinal studies. This is what I think the test sample was 2,000 people that they tested it on. So what they usually have about a dozen. They have thousands of people. writing down side effects, seeking as you get it. So someone asked me, so what would you do? I said, well, I guess I would highly recommend getting it, but I just wait a little longer to make sure, let a few, more thousands of people get it and then see what the CDC comes up with, because it's a little bit like the Gardasil vaccine. Now they had no longitudinal studies on that. It's a little different, but it's not as pro everybody go and do this. There are some side effects that are to be thought about. So I think that you should really right now get your regular flu immunization. That's what you can do right now, since this isn't technically out, but it is being shipped, and they are giving so they are seeing the effects, some side effects of it. So, but what I would do is get the regular flu shot, because the regular flu is much more lethal than this swine flu.
Yeah, so far this year there haven't been a lot of that. We didn't talk about that. There's a regular flu shot you could get every fall. There's 3 strains in there, and that typically hurts older people. But people who are asthmatic or diabetic or have weak immune systems, all right, they can get the regular flu shot. And then the swine flu they thought would be 2, but it would only be 1. So you would need 1 of each. But you should get it when it comes out, because you really can't